boys and girls, and teachers, and mums and dads, and grannies and grandpas, and aunties and uncles, and budgies, and dogs, and cats, and anybody else who's joining us for this special assembly at Heathfield Primary School, either in the school or virtually, to celebrate the work of Robert Burns and Scots language and poetry in general. I'm Ken O'Hara, and Mrs Hardy and the staff invited me to help them in this celebration of Scots language. What follows is a collection of some poetry and songs the children have been learning and enjoying during this time, either in school or at home. So I hope there's some of your favourites in there. I certainly had fun performing them. Enjoy! Check out Queenie by Sheena Blackhall. Tatted neeps and ingin, puther for the wash, Willie's needing used sheen, grip skite flash, Sweetie's ale some flour, a tinny wi' a bash, I'm working like a robot, grip skite flash, Safety glasses bacon, aiming for a rash, my house is like a midden, grip skite flash, Mealy Jimmy's gansy, checker cared a cash, my dope is dirt up sitting, grip skite flash, a trolley like Ben Nevis, michty fit a flash, I'm skinner and I'm finner, grip skite flash, knew my shift is ended, beans and on squash, hame to do the housework, up, out, dash. Scots Wha Hae by Robert Burns. Burns imagines Robert the Bruce addressing his troops on the eve of the Battle of Bannockburn. It is the 22nd of June, 1314. Scots Wha Hae wi' Wallace bled, Scots whan Bruce has often led, welcome to your gory bed, or to victory. Now's the day, and now's the hour. See the front of battle lower, see approach proud Edward's power, chains and slavery. Wha will be a traitor knave? Wha will fill a coward's grave? Wha sae base as be a slave? Let him turn and flee. Wha for Scotland's king and law, freedom's sword will strongly draw. Freeman stand or freeman fall, let him follow me. By oppression's woes and pains, by your sons and servile chains, we will drain our dearest veins, but they shall be free. Let the proud usurpers low, tyrants fall in every foe, liberties in every blow. Let us do or die. Willie Wassell by Robert Burns. Willie Wassell dwelt in Tweed. The sport they called it Lincoln Dodie. Willie was a wabster, gid, could stoon a clue wi' onybody. He had a wife, was dour, and din. Oh, Tinkler Magie was her mother. Sick a wife as Willie had, I wouldna gie a button for her. She has an ee, she has but ane, the cat's got twa the very colour. 5 rusted teeth, forby a stump. A clapper tongue wi' deave a miller, a whisking beard about her moo, her nose and chin the threaten of her. Sick a wife as Willie had, I wouldna gie a button for her. She's bow hocht, she's hem shinned, ae limp in leg a hand breed shorter. She's twisted richt, she's twisted left, to balance fair through ilka quarter. She has a lump upon her breast, the twin of that upon her shoulder. Sick a wife as Willie had, I wouldna gie a button for her. All bodderings by the ingle sits. Wi' her loof, her face a washing. Willie's wife is nae sae trig. She dicks her grunsy wi' a hooshin'. Her wally knaves like midden creels. her face would file the Logan water. Sick a wife as Wally Hud, I wouldna gie a button for her. Tam O'Shanter by Robert Burns. Now, Tam was based on a real character whom Burns knew. But Burns created this character of Tam, who travels from Ayr to just past the Brigadoon in Alloway. And he encounters on his way some witches and warlocks at Alloway's old haunted kirk. So enjoy the classic story of Tam O'Shanter, possibly Burns' greatest work, and also possibly the best poem ever written. When Chapman Billies leave the street, and drouthy neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late, and folk begin to tack the gate, while we sit boozing at the nappy, getting foo and donko happy, and think now on the lang Scot smiles, the mosses, waters, slaps and styles, that lie between us and our hame, where sits our sulky, sullen dame, gathering her brews like gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth fand honest Tam O'Shanter, is he frae airy nicht did canter, all dear, whom there toonser passes for honest men and bonny lasses. Ah, Tam, hadst thou but been so wise as ta'en thy ain wife Kate's advice, she told thee weel thou was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, drunken blellum, that frae November till October, ae market day thou wasna sober. Thou ilka melder with the miller, thou sought as long as thou had siller, that every naig was caught a shoe on, the smith and thee gat roaring foo on. And at the Lord's house, even on Sunday, thou drank wi' Kirkton gin, till Monday. She prophesied that late or soon thou would be found deep drowned in Doon, or catched wi' warlocks in the mirk by Alloway's old haunted kirk. Ah, gentle dames, it gars me greet to think how mony a coon so sweet, how mony lengthened, sage advices the husband frae thy wife despises. But to our tale, ae market nicht, Tam had got planted, unco richt, fast by an ingle blazing finely wi' reaming swats that drank divinely by his elbow, Suitor Johnny. His ancient trusty drouthy crony, Tam lo'ed him like a very brother. They had been fou for weeks together. The nicht drave on with sangs and clatter, and now the ale was growing better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious, with favours secret, sweet and precious. And the suitor told his queerest stories. The landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without Mick Rustle, but Tam didn't mind the storm a whistle. Care, mad to see a man so happy, e'en drowned himself among the nappy. His bees flee hame with lades of treasure. The minutes winged their way with pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, or all the ills o' life victorious. But pleasures are like poppies spread. You seize the flower, its bloom is shed, or like the snow falls in the river, a moment white, then melts forever. Or like the rainbow's lovely form, vanishing amid the storm. Nae man can tether time nor tide. The hour approaches. Tam maun ride. That hour, o night's black arts, the key stain, that dreary hour he mounts his beast in, And second night he tracks the road in, ne'er poor sinner was abroad in. The wind blew twould blown its last, the rattling showers rose in the blast, the speedy gleams the darkness swallowed loud, deep in lang the thunder bellowed, that nicht a child might understand the deil had business on his hand. Wheel mounted in his grey mare, Meg, a better never lifted leg, Tam skelpit on through dub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, whilst holding fast his good blue bonnet, whilst crooning o'er some old scot sonnet, whilst glowering round with prudent cares, lest bogles catch him unawares. Kirkalloway was drawing nigh, where gates and hullets nightly cry. Now, by this time he was crossed the ford, where in the snow the chapman smoored, and past the bucks in Meikle Stane, where drunken Charlie bracks neckbane, and through the winds and by the cairn, where hunters fand the murdered bairn, and near the thorn aboon the well, where Mungo's mother hanged herself. Before him doon pours all his floods, the Dublin storm roars through the woods, the lightnings flash fae pole to pole, near and more near the thunders roll, when glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirkalloway seemed in a blaze. Through Ilkabore the beams were glancing, and loud resounded mirth and dancing, inspiring bold John Barleycorn. What dangers thou canst make us scorn, with tippenny we fear nae evil, wi' Uscaby we face the devil. The swat sae reamed in Tammy's noddle, fair play, he carved nae deals a boddle, but Maggie stood, richt sair astonished, till by a heel and a hand admonished, she ventured forward on the licht, and vowed Tam saw an unco sicht. Warlocks and witches in a dance, nae cotillion brent new fae France, but hornpipes, jigs, strathspeys and reels put life and metal in their heels. A winnock bunker in the east, there sat old Nick in shape of beast, a towsy tyke, black, grim and large, to gie them music was his charge. He screwed the pipes and got them skilled to roof and rafters, o' did dirl the coffins stood roon like open presses, that showed the deed in their last dresses, and by some devilish canter slicht, each in their cold hand held a licht, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the Haley table a murderer's banes and gibbet airns, twa span lang wee unchristened bairns, a thief new cut it frae the rape, wi' his last gasp his gab did gape. 5 tomahawks with blood red rusted, 5 scimitars with murder crusted, a garter which a babe had strangled, a knife a father's throat had mangled, whom his ain son o' life bereft, the grey hairs yet stacked to the heft, were mair horrible enough that even to name would be unlawful. 3 lawyers' tongues turned inside out, with lies seemed like a beggar's clute, 3 priests' hearts rotten black as muck, lay stinking vile in every nook. As Tammy glowered, amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious. The piper loud and louder blew, the dancers quick and quicker flew. They reeled, they set, they crossed, they cleekit, till ilka carl and swat. Oh, pho, and reekit and coosed their diddies to the whack, and linket it in her sack. Tam, had they been queens, all plump and strapping in their teens, their sacks instead of creasy flin, and been snow white 1700 linen. Their breeks o' mine, my only pair, the aince were plush o' good blue hair. I'd ha' gi'en them off my huddies for ae blink o' the bonny birdies, but whether beeldams auld and droll, rig woody hags would speen a foal, louping and flinging in a crummock, I wonder didn't they turn thy stomach. But Tam ken what was what, fu brawly there was ae winsome wench, and Wally that nicht in Lister in the court. Lang after kenned on Carrick's shore, for money a beast to deed she shot, and perish money a bonny boat. She shoot baith meikle corn and bear, and kept the countryside in fear. Her cutty sarkle paisley hand, that while a lassie she had worn, in longitude, though sorely scanty, it was her best, and she was vaunty. Little kenned that reverend granny the sark she coft for her wee nanny, wi' twa pun Scots. 'Twas all her riches would ever a grace to dance o' witches. But here my muse, her wing Moncur, 6 flights are far beyond her poor, to sing how Nanny Lap and Flang, a supple jade she was and strang, and how Tam stood like ane bewitched, and thought his very een enriched. Even Satan glowered and fidged through fain, and hocht and blew wi' micht and main, till first he cape a sign another, Tam tint his reason o' the kither, and roars out, "Well done, Cutty Sark!" And in an instant, all was dark. Scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied, as bees bizzoot wi' angry fight, when plundering herds assailed their bike, as open pussy's mortal foes, when pop she starts before their nose, as eager runs the market crowd, when catch the thief resounds aloud, so Maggie runs, the witches follow, with money and eldritch screech and hollow, "A Tam, they'll get their fare, in hell they'll roast thee like a herring, in vain thy Kate awaits thy coming, Kate soon will be a woeful woman. So do thy speedy utmost, Meg, and win the keystone of the brig, for there at them that a tail may toss, a running stream they darena cross, but ere the keystone she could make, the feint, a tail she had to shake, for Nanny, far before the rest, hard upon noble Maggie pressed, and flew at Tam with fury settle, but little was she Maggie's mettle, a spring brought off her maester Hale, but left behind her ain grey tail, the carlin clocht her by the rump, and left puir Maggie scarce a stump. Now, wha this tale of truth shall read, ilk man and mother's son, take heed, if to drink you're inclined, or Cutty Sarks rin in your mind. Think, ye may buy the joys ever dear, remember, Tam O'Shanter's mare. Cheers! Caledonia by Dougie MacLean. Calydonia's been everything I've ever had. Skyscraper Wayne by Stephen Mulrine. I'm a skyscraper Wayne, I'll have won the 19th flare, and I'm no god to play any more. 'Cause since we've moved to Castle Milk, I'm wasting away, and I'm getting one fewer meal every day. Oh, you can't fling pieces in a 20-story flat. 700 hungry Waynes will testify to that. If it's butter, cheese or chili, if the breed is playing a pan, the odds against it reaching out for 1991. On the next day my ma threw me out a piece of game. I went and caught the pilot in a fast low flying plane, straight to Appy's goggles shouting through the intercom. The Clydeside Reds have got me way a piece in Geely bomb. Ah, you can't fling pieces into a 20-story flat. 700 hungry Waynes will testify to that. If it's butter, cheese or chili, if the breed is playing a pan, the odds against it reaching up from 1991. On the third day of my law, thought she'd try another throw. The Salvation Army band is playing down below. Onward Christian soldiers was the tune that should have played, but the Oopa man was playing on a piece in marmalade. Oh, you can't fling pieces into a 20-story flat. 700 hungry Waynes will testify to that. If it's butter, cheese or chili, if the breed is playing a pan, the odds against it reaching out from 1991. Well, we rode away to Oxfam to try and get some aid. We all joined together and formed the Peace Brigade. We're going to march to George's Square demanding civil rights. Let me